If you have an aging vehicle like I do, this is 1998 Dodge Ram, at nighttime it's kind of hard to see when you're driving. The lights are yellow. Part of that problem comes from the lens itself, but also the light bulb. So in this video, what I'm going to be doing is changing out the old halogen style light bulb to a Hawkglow 9004. It's a high beam and a low beam bulb, and I'll be showing you how to install it on this, but the installation should be fairly straightforward with any vehicle. If you've been with me before, you'll notice I'm in a different shop. We'll be talking about that in a future video, but today we're going to continue talking about these LED light bulbs. Now, first thing I want to address is these were sent to me from Hawkglow, and they came in the flash arc packaging, which I've done a video for them in the past, the flash arc brand. Flash arc grew so much since the last video that I did, they needed to upgrade and branch off to do a lighting division, so then they started the Hawkglow. So anyway, I just want to address that before we got any further. The warranty is through Hawkglow. You're going to go to the Hawkglow website, which I do have a link to the website, as well as a 15% off discount code. That'll be in the description, as well as on the screen. So let's take a look at what's in the box. So here you can see things are packaged very nicely. These do have the CANBUS adapters or filters on them, which we're not going to need on this truck. It's a 1998. They are an aluminum construction. There is a fan built in right here. At this point, we just need to get them installed in the vehicle. So we'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. We'll get one in, and then I'll do a comparison between the old and the new. All right, so it never fails when you're working on a vehicle and you're putting headlights in. You're always going to have one side that's easier than the other. In this particular case, neither one are very difficult. The one with the battery on it is right here, and you can kind of get an idea that if we're trying to get here on the back side, that's going to be a little tight, but it's still not terrible. We have access to get to the light bulb right there, and then on the passenger side, it's right here. So I'm going to try and do this one with me holding the camera. All right, so that's probably one of the hardest parts right there, is getting that clip off. And that's like a quarter turn. I think these are original to the truck, so these are from 1998. So I'm gonna get something to kind of pry on these a little bit. All right, hopefully I got that. If you're not familiar with changing light bulbs, definitely on a halogen, if you ever plan to try to reuse it, you do not want to touch the light bulb. So now that we have that out, let's see if we can get this one done. I guess we need to figure out this ring. So I'm going to assume we need to run it over all of this somehow. Maybe just like that. Then we'll pull this through. And maybe get it over the fan. Okay, so there's that. Let's see. All Alright, I'm going to do a little work here and see what I can figure out. Okay, got it installed. Here, I'm just going to finish plugging this in. And now what we're going to do, I'll go ahead and turn the headlight on. We'll see how the fan sounds, and then we'll do a comparison between the old and the new. So I can barely hear the fan. I'm going to turn the high beams on and see if it gets louder. High beams are on. They seem a little bit louder, but this is nothing you're going to hear in the vehicle. And there you can see the fan turning. I guess one thing I would say is make sure that you have clearance behind the back of the fan with any wires or anything that runs in behind it. So now that I have this one done, we're going to take a look. I'm going to shut the lights off in the garage. We're going to turn on the headlights and you can see the difference. Alright, so this is what it looks like with the old on the left and the new on the right. And the high beam. So we'll take another look at this when we get out on the road, but I believe this is going to be definitely a game changer for driving at nighttime. So even though the housings are in rough shape, this is still going to be a night and day difference. So I'll get this other one changed out. We'll take another look at both of them on. All right, let me show you one more feature. I think when we just did that last one, what I did is I put this over this, kind of pulled this plug through, and then kind of forced this over that. Well, we don't really need to do that, and I'll show you an easier way. And this is going to be on the 9004 maybe only, I don't know, but for sure on this one. So this collar here, we can turn it, pull it off, and then we can take this, set it down over here, put this back on, and there's a seal here. You want to make sure that stays there, and there's this seal here that goes into the headlight housing. I'm going to make sure that stays on, and then once we're in place, that fits right on. And now we should be able to put the headlight housing or the LED into the headlight housing, line up these tabs, and then it goes right in. So one thing that I almost forgot to tell you is I came back and I put some cable ties or zip ties to hold this off of any metal. I just don't want it to be rubbing up against metal. The other thing that I also made sure I did is the wires that come out of the bottom is they're going out the bottom. So I just prefer the orientation to be down in case of water intrusion. I don't want to get in there. So I did the same thing on both sides. And here you can see the installation on this. Wires going down at the bottom. I've got the cable tie right here, holding that box away from any metal. Let's go ahead and take the truck out for a drive. We'll compare the new light bulbs to the old light bulbs and see which ones are brighter. I'll say for installation, these actually felt like they were nice and seated properly, where those seals are going to seal and keep moisture out of the headlight assemblies, which you may have noticed. One of these already has moisture in it, and when I change the lenses or the assemblies, it's going to be even better. So based on the little bit that I've tested now, I'm going to be pretty happy driving down the road, I think. Again, here we'll try our brights. So we'll try the brights. It's a little bit better. now after we've taken that drive, you can definitely tell the difference between the old and new. It's a little safer, it looks a little more modern. We have a wider, brighter, safer driving headlight. I will address those headlight assemblies in the future. If you yourself have a Dodge Ram and you want to see how to change your headlight assemblies, go ahead and subscribe. That is going to be a video that I do in the near future. So if you have any questions, put those in the comments. Don't forget, I have a link to these headlight bulbs in the description, as well as a discount code for 15% off. Thanks for watching, consider subscribing, and we'll see you on the next video. Here we have a look at the Dodge Ram. And this is before we're changing the headlight bulbs. Okay, we'll take a drive here.
Here we go.
Alright, so in the screen, to me, it looks terrible. Alright, so we have try the brights. It's a little bit better. Well, you can see this is 9-day difference. I'll compare this to the previous video. So let's go for a little drive. Might be a little bit worse tonight as far as darkness because it has rained, but we'll go for that same drive. This is definitely better than it was. Try our brights. They almost seem to be backwards. By the way, so these lights are a whole lot better than the factory. We still need to change the headlight assemblies, but I am definitely happy with the change, and I feel these are much safer than the old ones.